welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal's new attack is going to be very exciting for two reasons. One, we will have options starting next season. Mikel Arteta will have a couple of options in attack as compared to the previous seasons, especially this one, where we have had a lot of injuries and very few players to select from. But also, I think there will be an abundance in quality with Arsenal in talks with players like Nico, Benjamin Sesko, and also following the trail of Alexander Isak. So what is going to change? Who are we going to bring in? And why could next season be a very, very different season in terms of what Arsenal line up with in their attack as compared to previous years, and how could that impact our chances of silverware? Hit that button, subscribe to the channel as well. By the way, if you don't know, I create content on both channels, the Kosi Arsenal podcast and the Kosi Arsenal channel, so make sure you do subscribe on both ends. Now let's start off with the big stories. Arsenal are rumored to want around 3 forwards this coming summer, and that is going to change everything. Mikel Arteta has been singing the song of we don't have quality and we do not have enough players in these attacking areas, and he was very disappointed in January when we didn't sign anyone, because he was very, very sure and he was very, very sold onto the idea that they would give him at least 1 or 2 attacking options. However, according to corridors that I can trust, Arsenal were keeping their powder dry for the summer. We were waiting for the summer to splash the cash, with some of the sources saying that Kroenke will be okay with spending around 200 to 250 million on just reinforcing this Arsenal squad. So who could come in, and what are the circumstances that we might see about 3 new signings added to Arsenal's attack? So I think the first player that Arsenal will try to get is Alexander Isak, and Isak changes everything. Isak is one of the most versatile players that you could think about in the Premier League, but also one of the most completed forwards, one of the most accomplished forwards you can think about if you want to sign a player today. I mean, back in the days, you could think about Neymar, you could think about Luis Suarez, you could think about Cavani, you could think about Gonzalo Higuain, but as time has gone on, I don't know whether we have less talent and more media, or more media and less talent. It's the same thing. I think Alexander Isak is the only forward right now that can satisfy any Premier League team at the moment. Yes, there is the likes of Erling Haaland, but you think about Erling Haaland's game and you're like, he scores a lot of goals, but overall, his general play is definitely that of, a young kid. When you think about players like Benjamin Sesko, they're not yet accomplished at that level. So Alexander Isak at 25 in his prime, it just makes sense why Mikel Arteta is so obsessed with this guy. Now, of course, Alexander Isak still is not that easy. Newcastle will be looking to get about 100 and above million, but we are told that Arsenal will do whatever it takes until the deal either happens or fails. But Alexander Isak makes our attack very, very exciting. First and foremost, you're looking at a guy that can score a lot of goals. I think, for me, we talk about 30-goal machines in the world of football, but how many 30-goal machines can we really say are there and they are in their prime? Benzema has fallen off a cliff. Cristiano Ronaldo has the same, and Robert Lewandowski. All of them are very good strikers, but they have become old. And you think about the players that exist right now, it's Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, basically, that will give you 30 goals. So among the players that are available on the market, you can think about 2 players, Alexander Isak and Victor Gyökeres. Those are the 2 strikers that you can say, this will give me 30 goals. And Alexander Isak, being on the radar of Arsenal Football Club, it shows that Mikel Arteta is waiting for the right time to get that striker that can just bang in goals and bang in goals and bang in goals. It's not a coincidence that he has built his defense first, signed a very good goalkeeper, and then worked on his midfield by signing Declan Rice for 100 million, and now bringing in Martin Zubimendi, and is now moving to get a forward, a striker that he can trust to score for him 30 goals a season. So I think what Alexander Isak brings to Arsenal that we don't have right now is that ability to disorganize defenses, that ability to make defenses porous and score 30 goals plus. We don't have that at the moment, and I think Alexander Isak or Victor Gyökeres are the only 2 strikers that I can trust right now on the world market to get me such a return in terms of goals. 30 goals per season, it's only Isak and Victor Gyökeres that I can point to. But of course, if we don't get Alexander Isak, it is still very interesting that Arsenal want to get in a number 9. And that's why, according to Romano, Arsenal didn't sign Matthias Cunha, because we were waiting for the summer to go and get in a proper number 9 that the management believe in, but also that Mikel Arteta believes in. And those are two. One of them is Benjamin Sesko, and the other is Alexander Isak. So if we don't get Alexander Isak, things will still be very interesting, as Arsenal will be trying to get Benjamin Sesko for 70 million. Now, with Benjamin Sesko, there are two things you've got to think about here. One, a very young striker with a high ceiling, but not yet in his prime, and he cannot promise you 30 goals right away from season 1. That is what Alexander Isak would do. He gives you 30 goals, already adapted to the Premier League, and he's used to playing against the high-level caliber Premier League teams that you're going to be going against, but also he's played at the highest level with Sociedad and Newcastle in the UEFA Champions League. So when you think about Sesko, he's a kind of a low-budget version of Alexander Isak, but also he is a different version to Alexander Isak as well. He is a proper number 9. Now, when you think about Isak, you think about his versatility, his ability to drive with the ball, his ability to take on players, his ability to dribble, and all these kind of interesting things. That is why many people have likened him to Thierry Henry. They say, listen, this guy, give him the shot 14 and he's your next Thierry Daniel Henry. Apart from the injuries, I think Alexander Isak could be a dummy of Thierry Henry at Arsenal. But Benjamin Sesko would make us even interesting. Why? Because he would unlock players like Martin Odegaard. I think with Alexander Isak, the whole team would create chances and he would score a lot of goals. But with Benjamin Sesko and his typical number 9 roles, I think it would bring out the creativity that we know there is in Martin Odegaard's game. So Sesko coming in as one of the other players, that would make things actually very, very interesting for a player like Martin Odegaard. Now, of course, bringing in a number 9 is just going to be nice. It's just going to be good. It's just going to transform the way this team operates. I think Sesko is better than Kai Havertz in that position, not because he's more talented, but when you are talented as a 10, you're not better than the defenders. It's as simple as that. They have understood the basics and principles of their job, and you've understood the basics and principles of your position as well. That is why I think Benjamin Sesko is a much better player at forward, on the forward line than Kai Havertz. If you drop both of them in the midfield, Kai Havertz would obviously be a much better option. So who are we going to get? I think it's going to be Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal will try to get Alexander Isak as much as we can. But if Newcastle scrape through and go to the UEFA Champions League, I think Arsenal might not get Isak. So Benjamin Sesko could be the 9. And I think that is perfectly okay with me. But where things get more interesting on that forward line, on the attack, is the addition of Nico Williams. Arsenal are doing whatever they can to get Nico Williams in this summer. We did whatever we could last summer, I presume, and the deal didn't happen. That is perfectly okay. Deals happen, and at times deals do not happen. But when you think about Nico Williams, there are two things here that Arsenal are getting. We're getting in a lethal winger that scores goals, creates chances, and is really fast. I think we are going to be getting a Saka on the left-hand side, and we will have our original Saka on the right-hand side. Premier League defenses are really going to face it rough. And it's why it's very, very interesting and exciting that Arsenal will be going for a left winger, and they will be going for a good striker in the same window. That changes everything. Like, think about this. You've been using Trossard, Havertz, and Saka, or Trossard, Havertz, and Martinelli, and Premier League defenses have been taking a break. I mean, yes, they are good, but not as good as Williams, Saka, and Isak. That is a leveler, right? So why it's very exciting is that Arsenal are now looking to do a job on the left wing, a job at striker, and we are also looking to bring in someone to back up Bukayo Saka. So Nico Williams for me is the right choice. And I remember saying this about 2-3 days ago, that waiting for Nico Williams is worth it. We could have been flexible and gone for Kavichi Kvaratskhelia. I would have been very, very happy with that. But Arsenal keeping the powder dry to sign Nico Williams, I really don't have a problem with that. I've never had a problem with that, and I'll never have a problem with that. He's such a gem of a talent. So the question is, will he start? 100%. 100%. I think it's better than Trossard, in my opinion. I think it's better than Gabriel Martinelli, and it's better than Raheem Sterling, who should be leaving the club this summer and going back to Chelsea. So you think about that attacking three. Saka, he is capable of giving you 15 assists and 10 goals every single campaign. I think Saka is one of the consistent performers in this Arsenal jersey that when you look at him, despite his age, despite the experience that he doesn't have, you look at him and you're like, I need 30 goal contributions every season, and you are going to get them. When you think about adding Isak or Šeško to the line, Šeško has already scored 18 goals this campaign and assisted 5. That is 23 goal contributions. If you add 23 or 25 goal contributions of Benjamin Šeško to the 25 goal contributions of Saka, that is already 50 goal contributions that you're looking at. And that is already wonderful. And then to complete the picture, we will bring in Nico Williams, who is going to guarantee you another 20 goal contributions every single season. That is what Liverpool dominated with when they had Firmino and they had Salah and they had Mane. Because Mane could guarantee you 20 goal contributions, Salah 40 goal contributions, and Roberto Firmino would chip in with 20 goal contributions, 25, 30 goal contributions every now and then. And that's what Arsenal are trying to build. And that's why our attack right from next season could actually be unstoppable. That's the truth. Our attack could be like literally unstoppable. You stop us on the left-hand side, we go through the middle. You stop us from the middle, we go through Saka. You do not have enough numbers and concentration to deal with that. So I really pray that all these players that we are working on materialize, because that's really going to change. But what is actually going to be very interesting and what's going to make this plan a little bit more interesting is the addition of backups to the team. Now, I've said this before. If you bring in Šeško or Isak, Kai Havertz would be the natural backup. But I don't think that Havertz is good enough to come into games as a game changer. I mean, I want you to think about these substitutions that we have had at Arsenal before. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming off the bench. Thomas Rosicky at times, when he was fit, coming off the bench. I want you to think about those substitutions. And I want you to think about the impact that like a player like Rosicky would have. That the impact that a player like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain would have on the pitch. Or when we had Lucas Podolski and Olivier Giroud. Podolski comes off and Giroud comes on. Or Giroud comes off and Lucas Podolski comes on. That is the real purpose of backups. That is why you create or sign a backup player. So that when you take off the starter, they can create impact. So I think this summer, Arsenal are also tracking Mbeumo and Semenyo. Now, obviously, we're not going to sign both of them, but the cross-cutting aspect with Mbeumo and Semenyo is that both of them could play for you on the right wing, and both of them could play for you on the left wing. And that means that Arsenal are actively seeking someone who can provide competition to Saka, but also someone who can be a general forward, like Mbeumo could play at center forward, right, left, and center. That means that Arteta is going to have options. And that is one thing that is going to improve with this squad and the attack next season. We are going to have options and quality options. You have Semenyo or Mbeumo, you have Williams, you have Isak or Šeško, you have Saka, you have Martinelli, you have Trossard. That's around 8 attacking options that the manager can select from, as compared to right now, where we can't really say we have enough in the attack. So I'm really excited about how this attack is gonna, be built. And I know we might have a controversial departure. I won't be surprised to see maybe Martinelli leaving. If Arsenal get Isak and Williams, I won't be surprised to see Martinelli and Sterling go, right? Of course, you have the likes of Ethan Nwaneri also coming into play. Yeah, I would be okay with sacrificing one of Martinelli or Trossard to accommodate Isak and Nico Williams. If you think this attack will be interesting and exciting to you, let me know in the comment box below. But for me, I think it's a whole new level, a whole different level of improvement at Arsenal.